you've vocally denounced Bronx Drill, and you being from the Bronx, it kind of hits close to home with you.
Right. See, what it is with Bronx Drill, I'm not with the diss and the dead. I've heard some drill music that I think was pretty cool, but I'm not with the disrespect of the dead. I feel like, and I've publicly used my voice for the last few years, so much to the point to where that we done seen the drill movement come and go just that fast. It disappeared. Everybody's in jail now. You got K-Flock, you got DThang, they all in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chicago kind of started that shit, and Jacksonville, continued it. And, you see people like FBG Duck right now, who passed away right after he dropped the song Dead Bitches, where he basically dissed a bunch of dead people, of his enemies. It's something that I didn't grow up with. For me, Hit 'Em Up, I thought was like, you can't get more disrespectful than Hit 'Em Up.
That's what we all thought.
That's what we all thought. Like, okay, he starts off with, that's why I fucked your bitch. And it's like, oh shit, he's talking about this man's wife. He's talking about fucking her. Like, goddamn. And then you find out later on that shit might actually be true. But this shit here, the smoking of the dead homies, the shooting, music videos at grave sites and anything else like that is just like, I mean, the shit is so unnecessary and so stupid because it's some shit that is very hard to come back from. You rarely see someone who diss one of your dead homies and then y'all become cool again afterwards. That's kind of a rarity. I'm sure it does happen. But it's like, it's so far over the line that it's just like, I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, two people could have disagreements. Like me and Wack were at odds for 10 years. But we talked about this on camera. At no point did either one of us cross over the line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. He took a few shots at me, and, when his name came up, I said what I said, but ultimately nobody went over the top with it. No one talked about family members. No one talked about, smoking of the dead or disrespecting like to a level that you can't be brought back. And ultimately me and him worked it out, and now we're doing business together. The game interview was because he allowed it to happen, and I had to go through him, and it ended up being a great situation. The interview with him ended up being a strong interview. It's about to come out. You could come back from a lot of shit. Like I said, I'm 50. I've squashed beef with a lot of people. Me and NLE Chopper were going at it, and then we ended up getting together and doing a dope ass interview. It ended up being his biggest interview ever. So it's like, I think a lot of times these young kids feel like, fuck this dude forever. I'm never going to work it out with him. So I'm just going to say the most outrageous shit that could possibly, pop in my head. When the reality is, you're just mad. They're mad. If you could temper yourself a little bit, y'all could probably work it out and go on and actually have a positive situation at the end of the day.
Not the way it started happening in New York, because you would have a diss song come out, and then after that diss song, there's a murder 2 days later. Then the next side making a diss song, and then there's a murder 3 days later. It was getting bad in New York. And it got so bad to the point to where that after a while, DJ Drewski was like, yo, I'm not even playing this music anymore. Yeah. And then, I believe I was the voice that caused that. I could be wrong, but then even the mayor came out and said, you know what, I'm going to put a stop to drill music. That's when Mano came out, and Fabio Foreign and all the rest of them like, nah, we can't do that. Like, at that point in time, it was time to put your foot down, because now it got so bad to where that the drill movement wiped itself out, and all of these pillars of hip hop remained silent. I don't care how high you are in the rap game, under no circumstances, whether you Rakim or you Nas, where they were supposed to sit back and watch so many of these young boys die through the drill music and just say nothing. This is where I lost respect with the godfathers of hip hop, the pioneers of hip hop, of everybody, because it was like, let me just mind my business. If you are the father, the uncle, the cousin of, if you're the pillars of hip hop, how do you watch these young boys slaughter each other like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at my interviews, and I've interviewed a lot of people, unfortunately, that passed away violently. And if you listen to my interviews, like FBG Doug, why don't you move away from Chicago? Nah, I don't want to do it. Next interview, why don't you move away from Chicago? Like, your brother just got killed. Nah, I'm good. Mo 3, Young Greatness, like the list goes on and on and on. But in a lot of these interviews, I will say, okay, he said this, you said that, whatever. Can y'all work it out? I actually, a lot of times I'll know both the people. I'll be like, I'll get y'all on the phone together. Nah. But sometimes things do work out. But I feel like if I ever do an interview with somebody and there is some beef, questions which will come up, in that conversation was, okay, this happened. How can y'all work it out? And sometimes that does happen. But I have to at least throw it out there as someone who's a little bit older, because fanning the flames of this is not going to work. It's just going to create more chaos. But at the end of the day, everyone's an adult. People are going to act accordingly, how they want to act. And yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, I interviewed Chef G. He's locked up right now. I never interviewed K Flock, but he was a big figure in the New York movement, and he's locked up over a murder. Yeah, man, it's a mess out here.
I hope K Flock and DThang. I'm in contact with DThang's mom, and with K Flock, I really wanted to get in contact with that young boy just so they could hear the voice. But it's like, at a young age, and even sometimes as a grown man, you feel like you have something to prove in the hood. That's the mentality. You feel like you have something to prove. They just don't realize that, I've seen, just recently, I was, like you said, I was in jail. 94, I'm in jail. There was a brother that came through from Idawar. I went to school with his sister. He was a young baby. I'm looking at pictures of him now coming home after 28 years in jail, looking like an old man. And these boys don't realize that they're gonna spend the best years in the penitentiary over keeping it real, over a mentality that was sold through us, that through artists and rappers, that they send their kids to college while they send our kids to the penitentiary. That's been my whole argument. Why do I get to see your kid graduate and our kids go to the penitentiary? Why? You're making a conscious decision. Why name yourself stupid names like the Lobby Boys and then go to get the stupid door knocker chains and put it around your neck? The big stupid door knockers that we had to knock on each other's door back in the days. Why put that on your neck? You're selling the hood when you only coming through visiting. And you know damn well you don't want to live there ever again in life. It's like the street Bible. The little kid running around the living room. There's a coffee table there. The little kid is about to hit his head on the edge of that coffee table, and you let him. This is what these rappers is doing. They're making a conscious decision.